Hello, I am Professor Shubhi Sharkar of Department of Geological Sciences, Jadavpur University, Kolkata. Today I will discuss on sedimentary environments in general. You will learn particular sedimentary environments in other lectures, but I will discuss about the general view of sedimentary environments. So, a sedimentary environment is an area on Earth's surface where sediment get deposited and can be separated physically, chemically and biologically from adjacent terrains. A sedimentary environment may be a site of erosion, non-deposition or deposition. Accordingly, environments can be dominantly erosional or depositional in nature. Subaerial environments are likely to be erosional, while subaqueous environments are mostly depositional. Erosional environments are not likely to be preserved in stratigraphic record, and hence their existence can only be inferred from the detrital materials. Non-depositional or equilibrial environment occur on land and sea, where transportation appear to be the dominant mechanism. Equilibrial environment do not deposit any detritus, they are preserved in stratigraphic record as unconformities. The third type of sedimentary environment is depositional, which usually get preserved in stratigraphic record. The best way to identify an ancient sedimentary environment is to relate them with their modern counterparts. Sedimentary processes operate on modern environments and give rise to sedimentary products. Ancient environments contain the products in form of rocks. Considering more or less similar process operate within similar environments throughout the geologic time. It is easy to characterize each sedimentary environment on the basis of their environment characteristics product. Ancient sedimentary environments hence can be extrapolated from the rock record by comparing the products with their modern counterparts, but such reconstruction is difficult and often has several inconsistencies. The process become for identification association of different depositional environment can often vary. Major types of criteria used in recognizing sedimentary environment include the physical environment, chemical environment and biological characteristics of the preserved rock mass. These features that may be determined from a single outcrop or from several basin-wide spanning outcrops or even subsurface cores. The physical characteristics that are of principal value include bedding characteristics, the nature of formation contacts, sedimentary structure and directional properties. Chemical analysis concentrate on the gross composition of the rock, the major mineral constituent and orthogenic mineral can be spatially useful in environmental reconstruction. Organic materials play a major role in the overall analysis. The floral and faunal assemblages together with relative abundance and ratios of the various forms are very useful. The lateral and vertical facies relationship and the three-dimensional framework can be greatly strengthen the environmental interpretation. Ancient sedimentary environments can be characterized by deposits of a genetically related succession of laterally and vertically adjacent sedimentary rocks which accumulated under a specific set of environmental conditions. Sedimentary rocks record of the geological development of this environment through space and time. Primary sedimentary structure predict the mechanism of their formation. Hence, these structures can easily be related with the process of operating within particular environment. Sedimentary rocks classified into depositional phases chiefly based upon these primary structures actually represent the product of various processes operating on a particular depositional environment. After recognition of this structure, their association and distribution along time and space can give ample indication to identify depositional environment. This systematic approach is known as phasis analysis. Now, I should discuss about phasis analysis, which is very important to determine a specific environment. So, phasis and the term phasis is introduced by Grassley in 1838 from the Latin for aspect or appearance. Reading 1986 defined phasis as a body of rock with specified characteristics, but the commonest definition of phasis runs as a body of rock characterized by a particular combination of lithology, physical and biological structure that present an aspect of different from the bodies of rock above, below and laterally adjacent. This definition was put forward by Walker in 1993. No two sedimentary phases are ever identical. However, the term phasis can be used in many sense. It is used as a strict observational sense of a rock product, as for example sandstone phasis. It can be used as genetic sense for the products of a process by which a rock is thought to have formed, for example turbidite phasis, or in an environmental sense for the environment in which a rock is thought to have formed, for example the fluvial phasis. Besides, tectonophasis also has been considered when tectonics has been considered for phasis analysis. Those are sometimes called post orogenic phasis, as for example. All these uses are acceptable as long as one remembers which concept is being used. Most information among these four varieties are the genetic phasis, as it provides glimpses of formative mechanism. The classical sedimentary phasis or genetic phasis is properly defined on the basis of sedimentary structure present within the rock unit along with their lithology, texture, body geometry, etc. Description of a phasis must highlight the uniqueness of the phasis in association. Subphases incorporate the minor variations within the phasis. For environmental, though a single phasis is inadequate, association of a group of phases and their distribution in time and space is required to understand the depositional environment properly. For facies analysis, one has to consider not only the individual facies, but the facies association and facies succession. Now, I will discuss the facies association and facies succession. For a meaningful depositional environment or paleogeographic extrapolation, facies are interpreted in their association. Facies can commonly be grouped into facies association, which can be defined as groups of facies genetically related to one another and with some environmental significance. Facies association are product of a particular sedimentation dynamics. Sedimentation dynamics as a whole is different between different sedimentary environments, but individual components are often shared. Only thorough familiarity with facies interrelationship can one can classify different facies association. Association are the basic architectural elements or distinctive paleogeomorphic components in an environmental product. Facies or rather facies association occur in distinctive succession, characteristically known as facies succession, in which one or more defining parameter changes progressively upsection, like coarsening upward and thickening upward succession. Succession imply that certain facies properties change progressively in a specific lateral or vertical direction. The property in turn throws some light about the lateral as well as temporal changes in depositional environment, like a coarsening upward succession indicate an increase in flow power, as flow energy primarily control the grain size. Sedimentary succession are often made up of repeating cycles, where each cycle represents a particular facies association. Any one cycle is unlikely to contain all the facies and also in the correct sequence, and idealized facies association can be distilled from analysis of many genetically related cycles. Apart from environmental interpretation, facies association is always helpful for paleogeographic interpretation, that is geomorphic distribution of facies in space. Logical assumption about the trend of deviation from the ideal association enable one to predict the paleogeography of an area. Body fossil and trace fossil also provide important clues. Trace fossils are more important in this regard, as they never suffer any post-mortem transport and generally get accentuated instead of being damaged like body fossil during diagenesis. According to the law of correlation of facies developed by Walther, facies or facies association contacts are very much important for establishing the relationship between depositional system in space and the resulting stratigraphic succession. While gradational transition from one facies to another indicate original adjacent environment and genetic relationship during formation, sharp and erosional contacts provide no evidence of contemporaneous genetic relationship of depositional environments, rather indicate juxtaposition of unrelated phases. The systematic classification scheme to evaluate the nature of sedimentary rocks in terms of sedimentation process and to interpret the depositional setting therefrom is known as phases analysis. This process involved classification of rock assemblage in a way that unravels changes in paleogeography and or depositional framework through space and time. Phases analysis is the fundamental prerequisite for basin analysis, extrapolation of external as well as internal causes for producing phases changes, whether it is gradual or abrupt. Successful implementation of sequence stratigraphy, particularly in outcrop, extracting an idealized phases model to characterize each depositional environment by combining the features of recent sediment as well as sedimentary rocks. So, now we will discuss about the phases model. A phases model is a general summary of sedimentary environment, ideally presented in terms of their idealized phases distribution in times and space that make it applicable to different geological study areas. Phases models represent a distillation of the key facts which together characterize a specific depositional system. As sedimentary systems are dynamic and vary through times, a good phases model embodies a large amount of information from numerous examples of the same depositional system by studying both ancient and modern examples to identify concurrent themes. Phases models are thus prepared for the following three purposes: to sum up general characteristic products of different sedimentary environment inferred from the study area, to distill out universally applicable models for different sedimentary environments, to utilize the universal models as predictive tool in the study in a new area. So, now we should learn something about the classification of sedimentary environment. How many environments there are in nature. As discussed earlier, characterization of sedimentary environments require comparison with their modern counterparts to gain insight about the process operating on each environment. Sedimentary environments can be classified into three broad groups: continental environment, transitional environment and marine environment. Each group can further be subdivided into several depositional environments. Important continental environments include fluvial environment, alluvial fan environment, aeolian environment and lacustrine environment. Glacial environment is another important sedimentary environment, but mostly erosional in nature. Transitional environment include deltaic environment, estuarine environment, beach environment, barrier island and lagoonal environment. The tidal flat environment also comes under this scheme, whereas marine environment are grouped into reef environment, continental shelf environment, continental slope environment and continental rise environment. It also include all the shallow marine environment and also deep marine environments. So, student, please look onto the table. I will now discuss on the in a nutshell the different environment usually we get in natural environment. So, you see the table here, I will discuss here only on continental sedimentary environment. As I mentioned during my lecture that the continental common continental sedimentary environments are alluvial fan, fluvial, lacustrine and desert or the Aeolian environment. Now, considering this, the rock type present there, composition, color, grain size, grain shape, sorting, the sedimentary structure, both inorganic and biogenic, and of course, fossil, if it is a Phanerozoic sediment, you can expect some fossil. So, all these you have to consider for interpreting an environment. So, suppose while you are considering an alluvial fan, so it is likely that the alluvial fan environment will be dominated by breccia, conglomerate and archosic rock. And the composition of the alluvial fan sediments is likely to be terragenous. They are of course depositing on the continent, so they should be terragenous. The color is expected brown or red because it is it is within the oxidation zone. Grain size in case of alluvial fan can vary from clay to gravel, but the grain shape should be angular. Sorting is most likely it will be pore sorting, and cross bedding, graded bedding, these are the common inorganic sedimentary structure is expected to present in alluvial fan environment. Now, the fluvial environment on the other hand, you see the rock type in fluvial environment is likely to be conglomerate, sandstone, siltstone and shell. In a fluvial environment it is expected the conglomerate and sandstone is likely to be deposited in the channel, fluvial channel, and siltstone shell is expected to be deposited on the river bank deposit. So, the composition as well like alluvial fan is expected to be terragenous, color is also same, but if you see the grain shape, they vary rounded to angular. Sorting also not always poor, sometimes the sorting is good. Ripples is expected particularly in the flat plain deposit. Graded bedding, sometimes tool marks, cross bedding. Cross bedding are very common. Different varieties of cross bedding, perhaps you have already read in your primary structure that varieties of cross bedding are expected to be present within the fluvial deposit. Some biogenic structure you can expect. Fossil, if present, they should be freshwater shells, bones and plant fragments of course readily available in a fluvial deposit. Lacustrine deposit on the other hand generally dominated by siltstone, shale, limestone and evaporoid deposit. They are mostly black in color, but brown sediment also brown color sediment is expected. The grain size varies from clay to seal or sand. Sorting in lake environment is variable. Tracks, tail, burrows are present. Stromatolite also has been reported from lacustrine environment. Freshwater shells, fish, bones, plant fragments are abundantly present in a lacustrine environment. The desertic environment or the aeolian environment, in most cases quartz arenite is expected. It is a sandstone, you know, and besides gypsum at times reported from desertic environment, they are terrigenous, but the aeolian sandstone many times shows red in color. Grain size generally it varies sand to fine sand. The shape of desertic sand is unique. They are generally rounded. Sorting is also good. They are rounded because attrition process is very much active in desertic sediment. So, grain shape, rounded grain is expected. Cross bedding, various types of cross bedding is expected in a desertic environment. Cross bedding with reverse grading is a very diagnostic feature of aeolian environment. Tracks, trails sometimes present, but fossil is not that much expected in a desertic environment. These are the transitional sedimentary environment, varies from delta, barrier beach, lagoon, tidal flat. In case of delta, sandstone, siltstone, shale, coal, rocks, these sediments are expected. Composition, of course, they are terrigenous. Grain size varies from clay to sand. Sorting is poor. Cross bedding, graded bedding are very common. Trails and burrows are expected in deltaic environment. Plant fragments are and shells are also abundantly present in deltaic environment. Barrier beach, in case of barrier beach, quartz arenite, coquina is expected. Terrigenous or carbonate in composition. In terrigenous sediment generally dominates, but carbonate is also reported. The grain size in a barrier beach is expected to be sand. They are rounded to angular. Sorting is good. Cross bedding is abundantly present. Symmetric ripples is expected if wave is present. Tracks, trails and burrows are also very common in barrier beach environment. Marine shells are expected as fossil. In lagoonal environment, the grain size and the sediment type or the rock type are generally siltstone, shale, limestone, oolitic limestone, gypsum. These are the common rock types present in lagoonal environment. These sediments are generally terrigenous, although carbonate and evaporites are also very common. The grain size varies from clay to silt. Sorting is not good. Lamination, ripple, cross bedding are very common in lagoonal environment, as generally in the lagoonal environment energy regime is low. These ripples, cross bedding is a common thing. Trails and burrows are expected. Marine shells are present in particularly in lagoonal environment. Tidal flat, this is generally sandstone, siltstone, shale, calcilutite, dolostone, gypsum. These sediments are present. Terrigenous mostly there, but carbonate and evaporite are also common. The sorting in a tidal flat environment is variable. Sometimes the sorting is very poor, sometimes it is good. Lamination generally present, but ripples are abundantly present in tidal flat environment, particularly in the intertidal flat environment. Stromatolite, trail marks, burrows are very common organic structure present in tidal flat environment, and marine shells are very common this environment. These are the marine environment, consist of reef, continental shelf, continental slope and rise, and abyssal plain. Reef are generally associated with fossiliferous limestone, and composition of a reef mostly carbonate. The grain size is variable, framework elements also varies. Sorting, of course, it is not expected good sorting, but the fossils are abundantly present in a reef. So, corals, marine shells are common in a reef environment. In continental shelf, sandstone, shale, siltstone, fossiliferous limestone, oolitic limestone are common. Both terrigenous and carbonate sediments are dominate in this continental shelf environment. Sorting varies from poor to good. Laminations are present, and crossbedding are also very abundantly present in this environment. Trail burrows are common. Marine shells are frequently present in this continental shelf environment. Continental slope and rise, this environment consists of generally litharenite, siltstone and shale. These are terrigenous, either terrigenous or carbonate. The sorting is poor. Graded bedding, cross bedding, lamination, even flute marks or tool marks are common in this environment. Trails and burrows are present. Marine shells also common, but rarely plant fragments are there. Abyssal plain is dominated by chert, shale, micrite, chalk. Terrigenous, the composition is either terrigenous or carbonate. The grain size varies, still clay is dominant. Sorting is good, lamination may preserve, or trails and burrows are also common, and if fossil is present, they are mostly marine shells. But while you are considering this environment, you should not consider just only one feature. You should consider many features, because only considering one or two feature interpreting an environment is always dangerous. So, do not do this for interpreting an environment. You should consider the whole range of things, starting from grain size, grain shape, sorting, both inorganic and organic sedimentary structure, fossil present within the rock. For a holistic interpretation of the sedimentary environment, one has to consider all these. So, students, now you can understand that determining sedimentary environment is not an easy task, but at the same time this is the most important task of a sedimentologist, to determine the particular environment. So, determining a particular environment, one has to do systematic facies analysis, facies association study, and compare it with the existing facies model, and then you should interpret the environment of the sediment deposited in a particular basin. Another thing you should consider, not only the physical feature present in the rock, you should consider physical, chemical and biological aspect of the rock, of the sedimentary rock, and then interpret to get a holistic view about the depositional environment. Thank you.